So tell us what InvestSure is. I understand it's a world first insurance product, but what exactly do you cover?
Yeah, so we're an insuretech company, and I like to think of it as two parts. So yes, we've developed a really exciting world first insurance product which protects innocent investors from losses caused by management fraud and dishonesty. So we protect people from events that can have a devastating impact on their wealth, like Steinhoff or EOH or Capitec, and we sort of and these are losses that can really blindside any type of investor. So it's not really something that you can sort of price for or predict, and as such, that's why there's real value in the insurance product. And on the other hand, we use technology to deliver that insurance product in a really seamless way. So on Easy Equities or any other platform we partner with, as a client, it's really easy to buy the insurance. We disclose everything about the insurance there, and the whole journey is automated. So you don't really have to re-enter any details of yours and things like that. And even when you claim, it's as easy as selling your shares, and we calculate the claim value and pay that into your account within seconds.
So one of the things that I know from your marketing that you're proud of is that you've settled the claim in under a minute, and that you alert the client that they can claim. So how does that work?
So for us, the big thing is to know about these events before our clients. We always kind of have that sort of competitive streak. And we're monitoring news on all the shares we insure constantly, and so we're looking through sends alerts and that sort of thing to pick up if there's any issue that qualifies as fraud or dishonesty, and then we put that on a public website where anyone can access with information like what happened, where they can actually click to sort of get the news source, what the share price was, etc. We then also go out on social media and share that information with everybody. Our partners, Easy Equities, is really great at retweeting that sort of stuff as well. And every client who actually had the insurance on the share is also notified by email that they have the right to claim. And as a client, you then have 30 days, and at any point you can go onto your trading platform, sell your share, and we'll calculate the claim and pay it over to you.
So traditionally, insurance, in rather buying of shares, has been predominantly big institutions or rich old white men. And so in making shares more available in the retail space, do you think your product will help investors overcome some of their fear about starting to invest?
Definitely, and that's one of the really exciting things about partnering with Easy, because that's what they're really into. And we found that just from comments we've got from clients that yes, this is a risk that keeps people away from investing in shares. A lot of people think CEOs are crooks and out to get them and that sort of thing. And this really gives you that peace of mind that this is a risk that's really difficult to assess. We've seen major asset managers getting burnt on events like Steinhoff, etc., and they know the management. They actually go in there and do due diligence, etc. So as an ordinary investor, that's not something you can do. And there's a lot of potential money that you can lose in that. So it does give people peace of mind, we found. And we're hoping that with that extra bit of protection, people feel more confident to invest more and more.
So Steinhoff is a good example because it affected so many people, and I mean hundreds of millions of rand, were lost. So do I understand this correctly, that if I had your insurance product, I would not have lost all my investment in Steinhoff, regardless of whether Marcus Justus and others are actually guilty of any kind of fraud or not?
True, that's very true. So the product responds to accusations of wrongdoing, just because as an investor, if the share drops because of an accusation, you lose anyway. So another great example was Capitec. So one of these growing trends in the investment world is what's called activist investing and activist shorting, where people actually make money by attacking companies with accusations of wrongdoing, triggering a share price loss, and they've actually got a position that allows them to profit from that. So Capitec was a classic example. It was never really proven. In fact, I think Capitec refuted it quite strongly, but the share still dropped close to 30%, and our clients were able to claim on that. So yeah, that's why we really respond to accusations rather than people having to go through court processes and et cetera, which that could last 10 years. So then there wouldn't be really any value in the product.
So the insurance industry for me has changed a lot, particularly as it relates to actuaries. Actuaries used to be really boring and dull, and then occasionally when you found an interesting or good-looking actuary, which is very rare. They used to joke that they're the exception to the rule. But now we have been chatting to the naked guys, Ernst North, who's a cool actuary. You're a cool actuary. How did a cool actuary and your partners, there are three of you that started this business, how did you connect with the Germans from Hanover and Compass Insurance to get this product off the ground? Wasn't this too much of a cool thing for these underwriters to get their heads around?
Well, I think we came across them at the right time. So Hanover Re had just turned 50, and they were really looking at how can they reinvent themselves in a way. And so they just ran this competition, trying to go across the world and find new ideas or look at what threats there are to the traditional reinsurance model. And that's about the time. So I was part of that program. As an actuary, I think you have a lot of great skills, and in the insurance world, I think it puts you in a great space to kind of innovate and develop new products. And there is quite a tradition of actuaries actually developing new products, especially in the life side. So not everyone is boring. So that's kind of how it started. They were at a phase where they were really looking at new things, and that's kind of when we kind of connected with them. And so they were open-minded in that they wanted to have a look at the product, and they set us up for a 6-month period to really then interrogate if there's a real value, if the technicals are correct for the product, etc. So it was just there's always a bit of luck in these sort of things, and I think that for us that was it.
So some of the insuretechs, the guys really struggle with distribution because often insuretech cuts out the intermediaries, is not a fan of call centers, but then they struggle with distribution. So what are your distribution plans, and how have you seen your client growth?
So that's another big stroke of luck for us. So early on, in that 6-month period when we were looking at if there is value in the product, we also got in contact with guys from Easy Equities. And at the time, Easy was looking at insurance products as well, and they were really excited and got on board with the product really early on. So that really allayed even investor fears, in the sense that all of a sudden we had this great distribution partner, a partner who's kind of pioneering and disrupting in the world of investing, and we could go along with them. So it kind of changed the whole focus, and we realized that the right way to go would be to partner with distribution platforms, Easy being the first one with their really big client base, great marketing and great brand that we went with. And it kind of just gives you immediate access to thousands of users. And so that's kind of the way we think about distribution. We try and develop relationships, build partnerships so that we actually get on distribution platforms. And in South Africa, we're now looking at expanding to others. So that's kind of the way we look at distribution.
What do you do when you don't look at the newspaper and watch the news to see which CEO has gotten hold of the proverbial goat?
So work is a big part of my life, but outside of work, I love spending time with my family, love to travel, and watch a lot of sports as well. Try and play every now and again, but haven't done that a lot in the last few years.
Favorite place to travel?
So favorite. I love the Wild Coast, down in the Eastern Cape. I think it's really beautiful, and it's also quite a bit of family there, so you can kind of mix having alone time with your wife and spending time with family. So that's I'd say my favorite.
And predictions for share prices come election time in May. Must I short or long? What must I do?
I think long. I think we're gonna get through this period. I think the elections are going to be quite a good thing for South Africa, in the sense that it will we know where we're going for the next 5 years, and we'll have a clear vision of where the country's headed.